Let's talk about the future of AI. What if I told you it isn't some all-powerful superintelligence, but something, well, a lot more boring and a whole lot more dangerous? We're not talking about a smarter brain, we're talking about a smarter plug. And in this teardown, we're going to see how this one little unassuming standard might just be the Trojan horse that's already snuck into the entire tech industry.
So this smarter plug is called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And in late 2024, Anthropic launched it. And it has, kind of quietly, become the single way that AI talks to, well, everything else. Now, to get why that's both a huge breakthrough and a potential security disaster, we have to go back and look at the absolute mess that it was built to clean up.
All right, Section 1, the integration nightmare. See, before MCP, the AI world was basically the Wild West. You had all these super powerful AI brains, but they were stuck. They were trapped in a box. If you wanted them to do anything useful, check a database, shoot off an email, developers had to write just tons and tons of custom, fragile code for every single connection. It was total chaos. And the engineers, they had a name for this chaos: the M by N problem. It sounds super nerdy, I know, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Imagine trying to plug in every appliance in your kitchen, but every single one of them needs its own custom-built, one-of-a-kind power cord. That's exactly what AI development felt like. It wasn't just messy, it was a full-blown mathematical nightmare. Let's make that real for a second. To connect just 4 different AI models to 5 different tools, we're talking Salesforce, GitHub, Slack, a database, you name it, you needed to build and maintain 20 separate custom integrations. And every single one of those was just another thing waiting to break.
And look, this wasn't just some developer headache. This was an economic brick wall. The cost, the complexity of getting this stuff to work, it just meant that for most companies, building truly powerful AI agents was basically impossible. The M by N problem was literally choking the future of AI before it could even get started. And then, right into this tangled up mess of custom cables, MCP shows up. The promise wasn't a smarter AI brain. Nope, it was something way more practical. A single universal standard. The master key that was going to solve the integration nightmare for good. Anthropic's marketing here was kind of brilliant. They called it the USB-C port for AI. And everybody got it. Instantly, right? No more proprietary junk, no more weird adapters. Just one standard port. Any AI model can just plug into any tool, and it just works.
And here's how it completely flipped the math. Instead of that M times N nightmare, it became M plus N. So in our example, instead of 20 fragile integrations, you just need 9 standard parts. That's 4 for your models, 5 for your tools. This wasn't just a small improvement. It changed an exponential problem into simple addition. It changed the whole game.
So, how's it work? Well, it's got 3 main parts. You've got the host, which is like the brain running the whole show. Then for each tool, it spins up a sandboxed messenger called the client. And finally, you've got the hands, or the server, which is basically an adapter that teaches an outside tool, like GitHub, how to speak MCP. The reaction from the industry was just insane. Anthropic launched MCP as open source in November 2024. By February, there were over 1,000 community-built servers. Then the big dominoes started to fall. In March, OpenAI, their biggest rival, adopted it. By May, Google and Microsoft were on board. So in less than 6 months, the entire industry, all these fierce competitors, just lined up behind this one standard. And the results? They were immediate. At Block, the fintech company, they built this internal AI agent they called Goose. And get this, 75% of their engineers said they saved more than a full workday every single week. The productivity gains were just off the charts. So, okay, the integration nightmare's over, everybody's using the same plug, productivity is through the roof, story's over, right? We can all go home. Well, not so fast, because the very thing that makes MCP so powerful is exactly what makes it so incredibly dangerous.
And this brings us to Section 3, a Trojan horse. The argument from security researchers is pretty simple. MCP isn't just a smarter plug, it's a Trojan horse. Because when you create one universal, standardized way to connect AI to a company, you've also created one universal, standardized way to attack it. Think about it. This universal plug doesn't just let in the good stuff. It creates a predictable, well-documented blueprint for anyone with bad intentions. It's kind of like giving every burglar in the world the master key to every single house. That convenience, it comes at a really, really steep price.
This kicks the door wide open for a whole new type of attack, and one of the scariest is something called tool poisoning. So, an attacker sets up a malicious tool. On the surface, it looks totally harmless, but they hide malicious instructions inside the tool's description, the exact text the AI reads to figure out what to do, and they trick the AI into running commands it absolutely should not.
And you know what? Tool poisoning is really just the start. Adopting MCP is like opening a Pandora's box of new risks. You've got supply chain attacks, with bad servers pretending to be good ones. You've got the classic confused deputy problem, where you trick the AI into misusing its own powers. And of course, there's the constant threat of data leaking out through all these new pipes.
And I want to be clear, this isn't just some theory. Security researchers have already found thousands of misconfigured, publicly exposed MCP servers just sitting out there in the wild. The vulnerable infrastructure is already in place, just waiting for someone to exploit it. The Trojan horse isn't coming. For a lot of folks, it's already inside the network.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bad, but the industry isn't just sitting on its hands here. There's a whole new field of security popping up that's focused on one thing: taming this beast so we can actually use MCP safely.
And the general idea is a defense in-depth strategy. It's basically a three-step plan. First, you have to verify your tools. Don't just pull random stuff off the internet. Second, you sanitize the data. Use new security gateways to clean out any malicious junk. And third, you have to govern the AI's actions. That means a human has to sign off on any big, irreversible decisions.
So really, adopting MCP isn't a simple yes or no. It's a calculated gamble, and the stakes get higher and higher. If you're just using it for local dev tools, the reward is faster cycles, but the risk is local code execution. Use it for internal automation, you get easy data access, but you risk that data getting stolen. And for public services, well, the reward is new revenue, but the risk is a massive data breach.
And that right there, that's the core of the problem. The adoption of MCP has been absolutely explosive, right? It's driven by those huge productivity gains we talked about. But the security practices, the tools we need to control it, they are lagging way, way behind. It feels like we're building these incredible new AI-powered cities on a foundation that we're only now realizing is full of cracks.
And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. The real danger, the real Trojan horse, it isn't MCP itself. It's just a protocol, a tool. The real danger is the uncritical adoption of it. This gold rush to just plug everything in without stopping to build the walls and post some guards first.
So that leaves us with the big question. There's no doubt MCP has completely changed the AI world, and it solved a huge problem that was holding everything back. But in doing that, did it accidentally create an even bigger one? Is all that convenience and power really worth the massive risk it brings with it?
So what do you think? Is the Trojan horse already inside the gates? It's a question every company out there needs to be asking itself right now. Let me know your take in the comments. And hey, if you like this teardown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.